Hey everybody, welcome back to the build. Today I'm getting ready to mount the electric panel. Now, I've been going slow in this whole process with the electric. Electric's not my thing, it just isn't. I can pull wire and set up an outlet, but I don't do anything inside of the panel, never have. It's just not my thing, way out of my comfort level. But I'm gonna mount this thing in here. I've gone ahead, you can see I've scratched it up a little bit by holding it up and taking some measurements of where I wanted it to be. I was a little concerned about making sure it was in the right spot because there's a regulation that says that you can't be higher than 6 foot 7 inches on center grip. They don't actually define what center grip is, but I'm pretty sure that means the highest thing that you touch that you maneuver one of the breakers. So I've taken my measurements, I know that I'm there. I'm getting ready to go ahead and cut out this wall so we can mount it inside the wall. I had thought about just surface mounting it. I just think it'll be a better look and it'll make things a little more tidy. I'm just drilling a couple of holes in there so I can get a blade in it and saw across, because I need to go ahead and cut this whole piece out. This is a piece of 1/2 inch drywall and some 3/4 inch OSB. I'm going to move my panel so it doesn't get dust in it.
Is that just to mark it?
That's the top and the bottom of the hole.
Got you. So are you putting it right between those two studs? Alright.
Yep. I'm not putting more studs in.
Nothing like dramatic. Like, dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Alright, I'm going to get you on the other side just so you can hold it. Why does it look crooked? You can see that torpedo level right there. Well, that's pretty much worthless. So, because of that extra, because of the extra layer of OSB, it doesn't line up with the stud. So I gotta drill 2 holes in this. I gotta drill 4 holes in this so we can have it. Yeah, I gotta drill 4 holes in the sides here behind where the knockouts are, because it's gonna hit the OSB. It's not gonna stay. So it needs to be bent. Let me get a drill. There we go.
Pretty, but it ain't gotta be.
There you go.
There we go.
And what I'm going to do is come back there. I'm going to shim both sides of it. That way it's a lot more straight. I'm sure there's a reason that they ship it with a knockout in it, but it seems odd. Remove this twist out only when main breaker is installed in the panel. Okay, I guess it's already in there, so.
But they give you an extra metal piece?
No, it's not extra. You take it out.
Okay.
see if it'll focus on this weird screw head here. Flat head will work, but it's got a square in the middle of it. So if you do this for the first time, be a little more tight on how high you cut it. I wanted to give myself plenty of room. Gave myself too much room. So now I'm gonna have to go back and fix that from the other side so it's even and it looks decent and doesn't look all wonky. And I'm gonna have to repaint the scratches I put in here. But that's life. That's that. That's where we start. So now I just got to get somebody in here to plug the wires in. But that's coming. Can you grab me another one of these?
Yes. What's wrong with that one?
I have 2 holes.
Yeah. Adding it.
Somehow I drew the line in the wrong spot.
I've had a lot of people recommend that I draw everything out
This one I gotta take
and
out.
figure out exactly on every wall where I want to have the outlets. We tried that, and it got changed immediately.
Do you want outside? Yes.
You need to take good breath outside.
Over the last year, there's been a lot of supply shortages. Building supplies have taken a particularly hard hit.
We got another gray one?
I've tried to gather up every electrical box I could find when I go to the store to make sure that I have enough,
Flanges on the
and
outside.
I still don't have the right
Anything
ones.
else that has flanges on the outside.
That's the
Yeah, those are on the floor.
That is the last one with flanges on the outside.
Great. All right, I'm not drilling the other. I'm not cutting the other hole until we have the pieces here, because this doesn't fit. So I might as well see if I can buy one of the blue ones that would fit. Otherwise, I gotta change the size of the hole. Instead, I'm gonna run some electric.
Pulling the wire across at waist height makes it possible to reach both the outlets near the floor, any switches that are usually about 4 feet off the floor, and any light whips that you've got coming out up above your head. Bracing the drill off your hip makes it easy to drill the holes in a straight line and pull the wire through without having to measure every stud.
What's the case for?
What's that?
What's that before?
So they have something to nail the drywall to.
Oh god. Which everyone keeps saying.
Yeah, well, if I put it up,
Uh-huh.
then I've got to try and wrestle it in with a electric cable trying to go around the corner. That should be fine. It's just electrical wire, so it'll go around there. See, make sure there's nothing.
I just cleaned up that mess.
I'm sorry for you.
I know. Keep throwing it on the floor. Because you know someone else is going to clean it up.
Where would I put it, do you think, as I'm drilling? What should I do with that? Should I have one hand under it capturing the sawdust?
I don't know. It's just low for morale.
Though for morale.
Yes, just
See it all happen again.
Pulling the wire and positioning the electrical boxes is an easier process than a lot of the rest of the build. The more planning that you do for what you want in each room, the better your result will be. If you can plan it out and write it down ahead of time, you're miles ahead of where we are. Jafana has planned the lights in this house for as long as we've been talking about having a house, and the selections and locations have changed and developed as the plan for the house has matured and as those plans became a real structure. Even though we've written things down and had very well developed plans for each room, the plans have changed as we stood in the rooms, began to put up boxes, and talked about how we would turn the lights on and off. You don't want to take forever with this, but you definitely want to take your time. There will never be another opportunity to get things exactly as you want them.
Everything over here in this room is on the same 20 amp circuit, right? And you don't want to put more than, I think they say to max out at 10. And I was figuring I would try to keep it to 8. You could put up to 8 on a 15 amp circuit. You were supposed to put 1.5 amps per outlet. Lights usually take less than plugs. So if you look, you got one right there, that's a switch, so that goes to the light up top, right? There's two switches there, it's a double switch, so what's that for?
So there's one there and one there.
So you want to run that
Right.
off of it also.
Right.
All right, so I got to run something over to there. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have 8 in this room coming off of a
There's a lot in this room, but
coming off of a 20 amp switch. So that's going to max out that 20 amp circuit.
it's because this is the office and we have to have a lot of light.
Well, we'll have it.
We live in an enlightened age, literally. For most of human history, people were subject to the sun. When daylight ended, the world became a much less forgiving and more dangerous place. It was difficult to move around safely, even in your own home. Few had the luxury of anything other than the fire and a hearth. Candles were expensive, and oil for lamps had to be used sparingly. Even in large cities, when night fell, there was no more light available than could be given off by a fire. As early as the 1860s, electric arc lights were erected on large towers in New York City and lit up several blocks each with an intensity that was bright and eerie. But it wasn't until the 1870s that Joseph Swan and Thomas Edison developed the filament-style light bulbs that would be marketed to the wealthy as a means to light their homes. By 1925, nearly half the homes in the United States had electricity, and by 1930, nearly 2/3 of homes in England. Now, at the flip of a switch, we have light. If we find ourselves unexpectedly in the dark, most of us can reach into our pockets, pull out a phone, and turn on a light that provides better illumination than our ancestors could ever have dreamed possible.
So we want to change this.
Yes.
Chilling.
I know. do the fan on that, and then. So then, do we need? And oh, that's it. We were gonna do it both ways. We were gonna do it so you could switch it off at the bed and then turn it on at the over there. That's why we had two.
So you
But
want
we
a
can
double?
just do. We can just do one.
You can do a double. That's fine. I need to know before the sheetrock goes up.
Yeah, this needs a light to it though.
Okay.
And then we'll run this.
Yep.
Right, so you do light on top. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. There's a light, yeah.
Getting caught up in the minutia of all the little details that will make our house just right, it's very easy to forget what a miracle we have at our fingertips. This is one of the biggest benefits that we have received from building our own home, and a gift that I hope we take with us for the rest of our lives. Lots of couples have fights when they're having a home built over minor details that ultimately are insignificant to their lives. At this stage, we both have a lot of skin in the game, and we've only gotten this far by working together instead of against each other. So we'll roll through most of these discussions, going back and forth and seeing what we can come up with. Sometimes it starts out with me saying that it can't be done, and eventually we figure out that it can. And then we just have to think about it and figure out if it's worth it to us. Thanks for watching. There are a lot of things you could be doing with your time, and we appreciate that you spend a little bit of it with us. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll know when we put up our next video. And we'll see you then.